Hey everyone, I'm just going to be hanging out for about an hour. If you guys want me to talk about anything special, you want me to do any activations, you have my full attention for a little while. You can just go ahead and post it in there, and maybe in a little bit we'll bring up the 800 number so we can do some live calls. So I am yours for the next 45 minutes to an hour, whatever you guys want to do. I am open. Hey Dave. Hey Sonia. Come on guys, get me going. I just got done playing 4 hours of Dungeons and Dragons with my son. So my mindset is very much in that mystical state. And when I'm like this, magic happens. So folks, take advantage of it while you can, because once I start to crash, that's it. Anybody? Anyone? All right, well, you know what? Just everyone go ahead and get a glass of water. Let's just have a little bit of fun. Kick it off. Like everyone to raise their left hand over that glass of water. 3 inches, spread your fingers. In a minute, you'll start to feel that energy run down through your hand into the water. Just a general goodwill blessing, kind of kick off a little bit of time together this evening. Put your attention on the water, repeat the words out loud. I honor the space in which you exist. For those of you that are new and listening tonight, energy that is in physical form or non-physical form will do anything for you as long as you acknowledge its existence. And the highest form of acknowledgement you can give energy in physical form and non-physical form is to honor the space in which it exists. In my belief system, everything has consciousness, whether it's water. I just use water as the catalyst for everything I do because it's the most programmable material on the planet. And it really captures the essence, can bring about changes in the body and in the environment. Obviously, the software product line clearly demonstrates what we're fully capable of. Now moving into the physical realm, the HFA Plus is coming. The HFA Mini has been designed and submitted. I'm just waiting on some price points for that. I really want to keep the price points on the HFA Mini really low, to kind of get this type of technology into as many people's hands as we can. That's coming. Go ahead and you guys can go ahead and drink your water. I want to kind of hear. So, I haven't been getting much feedback on the MDM minutes. I mean, clearly they're becoming more popular. The Facebook views are starting to pick up a little bit. There's a lot of comments coming in on the Facebook. I'm sorry, on the YouTube. There's a lot of comments coming back in personal emails to me. But the dimensions of abundance is something I really wanted to tackle, and I really want to show you some techniques that are just not out there. And I learned, I have a wealth of knowledge in my head since I've been on this journey, and the MDM Minute is going to be a way for me to express that knowledge. I don't like the blog. I'm not a writer. I'm more of being in your face and showing you secrets and techniques that have really been lost for a millennia. And I'm always results oriented, but those results are driven by your feedback. So if the MDM minutes are working for you, that's great. I'll keep doing them. If they're not, let me know about it. I won't do them anymore. They are hugely time consuming to, especially some of the more intricate ones where, I have 3 videos going, and I got a 4K camera doing the action, and then I'm up here, and then I think another one I had another video going on. But the abundance ones are important, and I wanted to show you the creativity and dynamics that you can bring into your own life by doing it. Forward thinkers, people that invent stuff that's just off the chart, way ahead of the bell curve, have unlimited their thinking, thereby unlimiting their potential. There's no secret to any of this. You know, a lot of the things that I create, I see an idea and I kind of pull that into my world and I improve upon it and I make it better and I suit it for the masses and how they can help. With the abundance piece is I'm really trying to show, a sphere of techniques. And obviously the first one was with the salt, which is profoundly proficient in what it does as long as you can grasp the concept that reality is a cartoon. You can bend that reality how you want as long as you accept what you're doing, and obviously it's for your own betterment. You are a reflection of your environment. What you put out is what comes back to you. And putting yourself in a good space, your environment reacts to that good space. And when you do kind acts in the world, the environment reacts positively to that. I'm a firm believer in karma. I mean, I see this stuff in motion. I see how it does. I've experienced bad karma a number of different times. Luckily, the universe loves me, and I'm wily, and I can get away with it. But I've seen it, and it's not pretty. So the first aspect was the theory. The second aspect was theory in motion, which was pink Himalayan sea salt, glass of water, making a ring around it, moving. The salt is an excellent, especially pink Himalayan sea salt, is an excellent catalyst for cracking reality, for breaking up the cartoon or the matrix, if you will. It allows that abundance to flow into the water. You can do that technique 2 or 3 times a day. Generally, within 72 hours, you start to see results. And what happens is the universe puts things in motion that make perfect sense in the trajectory, the way you're transversing, where you're going, what you're doing. And that's how the abundance starts to flow. It just doesn't mean there's going to be a Ferrari or a Mercedes in your driveway the next day that's in your name, because it doesn't make sense. So the universe does things that make sense. Today, I did a video utilizing the Source 4 technology, the Aquaware 4 engine. Source 4 has been hugely instrumental to people in helping them, change their realities around them. Unfortunately, a lot of the testimonials didn't come over from the old website, but I'm going to be getting those up over the next 2 weeks, and there's, hundreds of testimonials to how the Source 4 has helped people. And the second part of that sphere in the Abundance mini-series was to show you how to utilize the Source 4. Now, you don't need to own a copy of the Source 4. You can just utilize the video. The video is as strong as, doing it live, or when I'm on a show or a conference call or whatever I'm doing. The technology is, saved in a moment in time, if time exists linearly. It's just as strong. And then tomorrow I'm going to be showing you how to create sacred geometry for abundance. I'm going to teach you a precursor to cracking that higher vibrational frequency very quickly, thereby allowing that energy to flow into you to give you the motions to create that geometry. And once the geometry is done, throw a glass of water on it, move your attention, drink it. So, any one of these techniques, any combination of these techniques should start to yield you results by Monday. If you're using them, I recommend using them 2 or 3 times a day, just getting them out there. But, the MDM minutes is a way for me to blog my ideas. I can't. I've tried to sit down on the old website and and write 1,000 word something every day about whatever, and you know, it's not for me. It doesn't work. The MDM minute is going to get way better over time. Through your contributions, I have been able to put together, you know, some really amazing ideas that came to you, and you know, the three biggest ones are abundance, healing. You know, I've learned and still learning. I mean, I learn something new every day just by the very nature of what I'm able to do and what I do. But I've learned some very potent techniques, and I'm simplifying them and showing them in this medium, in this format, so anyone can go ahead and, you know, just take the time. Now, for those that don't heed that clarion call, I'm not in their reality, and that's fine. You know, years and years ago, I met a master in a certain genre on what he does, and he asked me, he said, Peter, what's the difference whether you help one person or 1 million people? And I didn't know the answer, and I went back sometime later and I told him there is no difference. We're all made of the same stuff. And that was one of my focal points for learning. And, you know, and I still kind of hold true to that today. You know, I'm not doing this and having never done it for the money. I do it because I can help people. But people perceive things very differently. I used to give software away for free. And as soon as I started charging for it, people started having amazing results with it. Well, go figure. But they were getting amazing results before, but they weren't vocal about it. The price points are set based on where I think they're in the market. You know, I'm very, very generous when people come to me in emails and tell me about certain financial situations. I always make stuff work, and I always have. Aquaware 5 is an amazing piece of technology. You know, that's a combination of 10 years, 12 years of research and development, 1,000 intents, over 1,000 intents, pre-can, you know, the ability to write your own intent. I want to focus on that for a minute. When you know, if you're a mechanic and you go to Sears or Automotive and you buy a toolbox with a bunch of tools, you know, Sears or wherever they're made, they offer you that toolbox. And you, by the very nature of your craft, create beauty in the world by, you know, fixing motors or doing auto body or whatever. But that's a toolbox. And Aquaware 5 is a toolbox. That's exactly what it is. And the custom intent feature within Aquaware 5 is just so underutilized by people. It is an incredibly powerful invention that was integrated into Aquaware 4 and then dramatically improved upon in 5. And what I mean by that is a lot of people don't understand the mechanics behind it. The custom intent feature in Aquaware 5 is a conduit that allows you to consciously direct your intent in the water in its purest form. And it's almost like an art form when you're writing that intent. And it's very, very important to understand this. So in 2014, I was driving home and I had a brilliant brainstorm about how Source communicates intent. And there needed to be like a de facto standard in there that was the standard of how it did it. And it was the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio. And I took that formula, and that formula is found everywhere in nature. And I was able to derive a very, very interesting algorithm from that particular formula. And the whole basis of the Aquaware 5 custom intent is an art form. And what it does is it takes I limit you to 200 alpha characters. You can't put numbers in, you can't put special characters, because you need to think deeply about your intent and write it out. And you can write it out on paper, and then you can type it in. And when you type it in, it takes your characters and it puts them through 3 layers of a proprietary algorithm based on the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence. And what it does is it derives at an integer or a number. And that number is your purest intent in a binary number. And you consciously direct that number into water. Now, when you're consciously directing that pure number, that is the purest form of your intent, which means source doesn't have to go through the chemical makeup that make us all different. It's pure, it's mathematics. Mathematics make up the universe, okay? And you direct it into water. But the custom intent feature in Aquaware 5 is something you need to work with. The more you work with it, the better you get, the more results you get. It's like that toolbox from the mechanic creates beauty in the world. The custom intent feature in Aquaware 5 is light years ahead of its time. The software always has been light years ahead of its time. The world is just not ready to accept this type of technology. Some people that can heed that clarion call are ready for it, and obviously, you know, if you're a customer of mine, if you're a client of mine, and you're attracted to what I do, then you've heard that call. Now, I'm not the end all of everything, but I am very unique in the world that you know, I've been given the skill sets to create that particular product line. Now I'm exploring a different skill set outside of workshops and personal sessions and software. I'm just going after the physical market with devices that make sense in our everyday lives. The HFA, the harmonic field amplifier, is a new way to travel. And it's going to be debuting within a very short amount of time, as soon as I get the production order. And, you know, people don't realize what this device is capable of doing. I can say, okay, it increases your gas mileage. Okay, but that's so abstract and finite. I mean, you know, everyone that sends me a video, everyone that writes a testimonial about it is experiencing a new way to travel. We've had, I believe, a taxi driver or a limousine driver describe it as, you know, being in a protective bubble. The protective bubble comes up again and again and again, you know, and it's like anything I create. I don't want to give it parameters and say this is exactly what it's going to do, because then I've just limited something that is unlimited. And I'm an unlimited being. I've unlimited my thinking long ago, thereby unlimiting my potential in order to create these devices, have them manufactured, and, you know, do what I do at the end of it, and then deliver it into the world. And by doing that, you know, it does so many things when you're driving. You're noticing subtleties, but again, it's like the tools, like Aquaware. When you experiment with it, now I did another MDM Minute, a 3-part miniseries, taking my daughter shopping, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. It was back to school, and she's your typical 17-year-old, and, you know, I had the best experience shopping with her ever. Everything just flowed. The sales were great. She went to the sales rack, believe it or not. That kind of shocked me. And she found stuff. Everything she tried on was perfect, and the things that weren't, she didn't argue about or whatever. And, you know, and what I did differently is I'm always pushing the limits of what I create, and I'm always thinking outside the box. And part of the MDM Minute is to get these thought processes that I go through, and that's why I did this one. And you know, when you link in the HFA, you would hold it in your left hand, you put your attention on the car, the space in which you exist, and boom, it's linked. Then when you unlink it, you hold it in your right hand. But what I did differently, because I was thinking outside the box that day, was I included my daughter in the linkage. And unbeknown to me, it actually moved with her out of the car. And I watch this stuff. I see this stuff. This is what I do. This is my gift, and this is what I excel at. And it's almost like the bubble that was around the car was an extension on her. So that got me thinking, actually before that, in creating a home and office version, which will be available probably in the November timeframe. It's a design that's based on the HFA, but it's radically bigger, and we're calling it the HFA Plus for the home and office. And then the HFA Mini I just got done designing is way different from anything I mean, obviously from the HFA and the HFA plus, but basically it's a personal one that you can wear around your neck or put in your purse or your pocket. And it's basically, if you were to take a sphere and stretch it out, you have this almost like an ellipse, I think, kind of like this, and it's about an inch long. And if you were looking at it like this, the bottom is perfectly polished, half round, and then the top comes up and goes like this and like this. And the idea is this is all rustic, like poured gold, although it's made out of copper and silver. And there's a silver band activator, and you'll take your thumb and you'll put your thumb on it to activate it for you. And you know the conceptual thoughts that I'm getting about it, and just the information and how I gather information, this thing is going to be off the charts. But what's important to me is to keep the price points way down so I can get these into the hands of, more affordably, obviously, in the HFA and the HFA plus when they come out. So we're getting there slowly. The physical market is a whole different animal. Digital medium is easy. I'm an expert in it, and I've transversed it for a very long time in my professional career. I know how it works. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. And digital media is very easy to work with because it's a replication of itself out in the world. The physical world is way different. Very, very different. And of course, that's why I want to do that. So anyways, blah, blah, blah. Let's get out a glass of water. I want everyone to put their hands around it like this. Just put it down in front of you, wrap your hands around it like this. Make sure your fingers are touching, but do not touch the glass. In a second, you're going to feel that energy just shoot down your arms into your fingers, but we're not going to release it into the water yet. You can do it with bottled water, it's fine. Just allow that energy to come right down your arms. Focal point are going to be your fingertips. This is a shock and awe. This is what I like to do. Just allow it to flow. Like everyone to close their eyes, take some deep breaths through your nose, out through your mouth. Some of you might have noticed that we're building an etherical ball of energy, and we're just going to inject it into that glass of water here in a minute. Keep breathing through your nose, out through your mouth deeply. Each inhale is increasing the size of the sphere. Each exhale is moving its power forward exponentially. I'm going to count backwards, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to move everyone's energy into their glass of water. 3, 2, 1. It's like a vacuum. I'd like everyone to go ahead and taste their water. Tell me about it. Type. I can't take, actually I could take live phone calls. I don't feel like I've been on the phone all day. Type. Tell me, share the experience with me. Felt a little like jelly. That's new. Actually, I think I've heard that one before. So if anyone has any special requests, you can go ahead and just type it in there and I'll get to it. I'm thinking about doing these Facebook Lives maybe once a week. Um, Obviously, I don't have Donna with me, so doing the whole social media piece and being a co-host, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for me. But I think, if you have topics you want me to talk about, I'm willing to take one night a week and do an hour one of these. Just a little bit casual. We don't have any show guests on. It's just kind of me, and we can we can play around with some of the technology if you want. Maybe sometimes I could do some live calls. A lot of the shows that I do, people, they just love to get on the phone with me live, and it's very laser focused. It's almost like a cookie cutter machine, and it comes out of you left and right, and you just through what I do, the experience, you can just help people pretty quickly in that capacity. I want to talk a little bit about the Source 5. Source 5 is coming. Development started on it on Monday. And David Shear had a conversation with him a few hours ago, and it was very, very interesting. He was like, can you forget about the Source 5, imagine what the Source 6 is going to look like, and then create that in 5. And it was interesting. It was a dynamic that I never thought of. And, I'm given always exactly what I need when I need it, and nothing more, nothing less. And so the whole premise of the Source, the Source 1 was released in 2010, I believe, and it's Source 1 and 2 and 3 were static and non-interactive with the user, and we went to the Source 4. The 9 symbols of creation were introduced in Source 3. Source 4 became interactive. Source 5 is going to a whole nother level. It will utilize the Aquaware 5 engine, the Aquaware 5 technology. And although the dynamics, the way you interact with the program will be very similar, it's going to be distinctly different. Where the Source 4 might be a generic Coca-Cola, the Source 5 is going to be Coca-Cola Classic. It's going to have a very familiar feel to it. But if you've seen the man, I'm tired tonight. If you see the picture that I put up of the Source 5 banner, you can kind of already, that really sets the precedence for the precedent for the energetic flow that's going to be coming, and that was designed last week or the week before, and I put it up there. The Source 5 is going to utilize dark energy. Now, dark is not bad, it's not Wicca, it's not witchcraft, but dark energy is where all of creation flows from and is actually created. And it really started with the MDMI back in December when that was released. You'll notice it goes from the lower Hertz plane all the way up to that 0 point, that very, very dark purple. And it's a dark purple is where we're going to play. So, on a factor of what the Source 4 was able to deliver to people, that's going to be the nth degree when 5 is coming out in the late October timeframe. This has been a very, very busy year for the MDM team. We've done a lot of things. The website, Aquaware 5, the HFA, Source 5, HFA Plus, HFA Mini, Navitas 5 will be coming somewhere in between when I can stuff it. 12th Project 5 will be coming in first quarter next year. I want to talk about the intention bracelet, which will be coming probably second quarter next year. You know, I kind of mentioned this before, but I've been in a dozen places where I've seen they sell these little little bracelets with, you know, something inscribed on there. They sell for like 20 or 25 bucks, and they're just junk. I mean, they got a little bit of energy to them, but what I'm going to create when the timing is right is going to be massive. It's going to be an on-demand intention bracelet that moves through an unprogrammed layer, and I don't want to say any more than that, but that's coming. We also have a new generation of the master classes coming, and you know, people always ask me about my wake up experience, and the fourth generation master classes are all going to be about your wake up experience, and there'll be 6 classes. And what they're going to be designed around is source being the wake up point, and each ring will be a class, and there'll be 6 as we move closer to source, and they'll be peeling back the layers of reality and seeing the world for how it is. And I hate to use the cliche about the Matrix, but you know, the world is beautiful, and it's vibrant, and it's flowing, and it's forever, and we see it through conditioning. We've been conditioned our whole lives, but the point of this is you're going to see it as if you were a child again. The child sees the world as beautiful and magical, and you know, as we age from our conditioning, it changes quite a bit. So let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, I think you can replay. You just have to find it. I might move these to the website at some point. Roads opening with reference to health, wealth, and relationship and techniques. Yeah, you know, I'm getting around to it. I was just talking about the MDM minute a while ago, and a lot of knowledge that I've accumulated and what I'm bringing, and what I'm trying to bring, and you know, through the MDM minutes, I'm going to be tackling these as you know, one at a time, and showing you little techniques. But to take the knowledge that's up here and compress it into a minute, you know, is really tough. It's really tough because I'm very detailed oriented, and I don't like missing details. And sometimes I feel when I'm doing these 1-minute videos, I'm rushed. So I need to perfect it, and you know, the MDM minute will get better, much better over time. A lot of beautiful responses to a couple emails I sent out. Excellent ideas in the survey. I'm going to be getting to them over time. All of them. They're really, really, and thank you everyone for doing that. So references to health. I mean, you know, all of these are good points. Health, wealth, and relationship. You know, I can lead people to technology that'll change their life, but they have to utilize that technology to do it. There's an old saying: you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You know, a lot of people watch the shows that I do because when I'm in that mindset, you know, and I'm on fire and information's flowing, they catch glimpses of a very, very important information to them, maybe not to everyone else. And during that, you know, that's what the minutes are for, the MDM minutes. I'm taking years of accumulated knowledge that people just don't know about, that needs to be out in the world, and I'm putting it up on YouTube in hopes that it helps somebody somewhere at some point in time. You know, the 2 techniques for falling asleep. I mean, they're amazing, but you might see the video and it doesn't click, but when it clicks, it'll blow your mind if you utilize that type of knowledge. So I'm utilizing things that I've created in some of these videos. I'm showing you techniques outside, inside, crystals, all kinds of stuff. So anyways, there's a lot of that coming. and it's all good. So, what do we got here? Hell's been on my mind lately because I started feeling aches and pains in my early 30s. I'm 47, man. Believe me, I know what aches and pains are. But again, that's energetic flow. You know, here's an example I like to use. If a human body was rated on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 to 10, and a healthy, functioning, middle-aged adult vibrates at a, let's say, between a 7 and an 8, and a person that has cancer or some other illness, perceived illness, vibrates at a 3 or a 4, and that someone that vibrates at a 3 or 4 comes into contact with a higher vibrational something. I mean, we don't need to put a definitive response on that something. And that something changes them overnight. So this sick person goes to bed, they wake up the next morning, they're completely healed. Did that something never exist in their reality, or was it just completely blown apart by this higher vibrational something? I've never figured it out, but I will tell you this. If you're having aches and pains, when you're playing in those higher vibrational realms, you can easily get rid of those aches and pains just by connecting to what I call a stream. And I'm going to be doing some MDM minutes on the stream. I'm not going to put definition around the stream and how to utilize it, but I will introduce you to it. And it's kind of like being put on, the golden road. And when you're on it, you just never want to get off it. And that's what the fourth generation master classes are going to be around. Probably going to change the name. I don't know yet. Let's see if we got any more questions here. I'm sorry, folks. Donna normally does all this for me. I'm really missing her again. So I'm just kind of bouncing all over the place. We've got a really spectacular lineup coming in the fall for the third season of the MDM show. We got a lot of really, really good people coming in. Some amazing guests, and 50% of them are based on your feedback, who you wanted to see. So we're in the process of contacting them, and we'll get them booked and bring them in. So I'm involved with a lot of different things right now. I'm more busy now than at any point I have ever undertaken. My days literally go by like that. I'm up really early. David can attest to that because we're always Skyping early in the morning. And my days go sometimes to 11 or 12. So I'm putting in something close to 18-hour days. Now, I'm not always working 18 hours. I do have a life and like to have fun, but I'm involved in a lot of different facets of this business and where it's going. And one thing I've always held true to is helping people. I love to help people, and that, again, some of these shows that I've done, there's just, what inspires me is I can do all this cool stuff and on these shows and wow people, but it's customers and clients that go out of their way on these shows to call up and go, holy fuck, you can't believe did I just say that? Oops. Holy bleepity bleep, you can't believe what bleepity bleep did. And that is the stuff that inspires me. That's why, I'm always asking people feedback. I can easily check in on anyone that's connected to me at any time to find out if things are working for them in the manner expected. But I am results oriented. I am driven by people's feedback. Ask yourself a question. Okay, this is a really good one. How many people, and I'm not specifically talking about you, How many people do you know that have changed someone's life through a product, a service, something they created, or an act of kindness that they've done? Think about it. How many people do you know? I bet you can count them on one hand. And many of you are probably just like this right now. You know, there there is the when I after I first woke up and I was, playing with energy and doing different things, I had this impulse. I clearly remember when I got it to help people. So I started doing energy sessions with people. And the first time someone came back to me and said, "Holy shit, you changed my life in this way." It was like the greatest drug in the world. It was this amazing feeling, this amazing high. And in that I wanted to perpetuate that feeling, because when you're in that zone of doing an act of kindness, of helping your neighbor, helping the old lady across the street, going to feed your cats, whatever, your pets, creating something and helping somebody change their life through something directly affected by you creating something. There is no drug that even comes close. There's nothing. It's the best feeling. And now, because my time is finite, I've created products that can reach the masses and do those things that I just don't have the time really to do one-on-one with people anymore. That's why I'm doing a lot of these video things and, talking about different stuff. This is much more personal. That it's that feeling of feedback. I feel that energy that comes through feedback. And I've asked people to send me video testimonies, and I'm offering a $100 coupon in the MDM store that you can use on any product to just send me a 30-second video, man. 1-minute video of you and your experience with one of the products. I don't care if it's a free product or something you bought. I'm moving everything to YouTube, and it's a very slow, it's a methodical process, and it takes time, but it's that feedback. Now, there's energetic frequencies that are in written testimonials, which are great and beautiful, but the brain processes video 65,000 times faster than written testimonials, and that's what I'm after. I need your help. It's your inspiration and how your life changes through products and services that I offer that inspire me to go further. and the physical product line, the HFAs that are out there, are a direct testimonial to feedback that I've gotten, and how I've helped. And I wanted to take something huge like people driving. Everyone hates driving. Why? Because there's so much stress. There's so much road rage. The HFA takes all that away. It puts you in a mind-blowing experience. I mean, in a piece of technology that has no moving parts or electricity, you just link it mentally to your car, and boom, it does everything else. Born from Aquaware 5 testimonies, from Aquaware 4 testimonies, from Source 4, from pushing the envelope for so many years, and that inspiration really pushed me to do a physical line. And believe me, this is only the beginning. I have amazing ideas that I need time to get out. And creating physical devices isn't like creating software. Software, you have development costs, and then boom, out in the world it goes. Physical devices are much different. There's manufacturing costs that are involved. There's timetables that are involved. There's bazillion things that can go wrong. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong with software, but in the digital world, I excel. In the physical world, I'm finding my way. In the HFA is the first product. I wanted to design it for the car. We had 25 of them. They all sold like hotcakes in 12 hours. They were gone. The experience, people are starting to, send in some videos of their experiences, and that's kind of where we're going with all this. I'm just, where's Donna? Donna, my co-host. I need help. Let's see here. Yeah, do the feedback videos, please. Those are very important to me. Very, very important. I don't know what else to talk about, folks. I've been blabbing, did a couple activations, 50 minutes. If you have anything else, get it up there. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. But I think we're going to do these 1 hour Facebook Live once a week. We'll shake it up a little bit. Maybe I'll take live calls one night. We'll just do activations one night. Maybe I'll just talk and bore the shit out of you for an hour or whatever. These are recorded. You can always go back and just click on it. At some point, I'll figure out. I'll get it up on the website. When it's on the website, people that don't use feedback will have more exposure to it. But it's just kind of a more intimate setting. But anyways, night, folks. Thank you.